What's up, everybody? Shauna D Man here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great week. We are back to talk about some hypocrisy, to say the least. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago, Resident Evil 9 dropped. People seem to love it. I wonder what. Let me see what the viewer. Um, the Steam charts. The Steam charts say about the game. Um, I have not played it. Like, to be fair, I have not played a lot of Resident Evil games. Like last year on the channel, we did Resident Evil 2. You guys can definitely go check that out. But these Steam charts, Resident Evil. So Resident Evil 9, there are still a lot of people playing it. So the game came out about 2 weeks ago. And right now at that time, over 300,000 players. It peaked at that time, 15 days ago. As of right now, at the time of me doing this video, there are 73,000 people still playing the game. And one of the things this has brought up is basically the sexism. And what I mean by that is there has been this trend of what we see in the video, at least in the video game space, where people criticizing other people for wanting a beautiful, sexy female character in their video games. And then we see how they're reacting with Leon Kennedy. So for instance, if you saw on the thumbnail, you had two different articles by PC Gamer. One talked about Stellar Blade, a couple that came out, I believe, last year, basically saying Stellar Blade, 41% smut mods, and then they had Resident Evil 9 talking about a sexy Leon Kennedy mod, and it's clear hypocrisy. There is even with Kotaku, there was a person who wrote an article. Now, I did not read the article. I did watch videos on people talking about it. And we got a YouTube video that we're going to check out as well. But mainly what this was, this person who wrote this article was just basically like sexualizing Leon Kennedy and talking about how, he likes that individual likes to get Leon's health down just to hear the sounds he makes because it's very sexual to them and everything like that. And it is very weird. Like, if you played the game, if you heard Leon get hurt and stuff like that, it does sound really weird. Not sure why they have it like that. But I asked Grok to pull up. I probably won't go through all of this, but we're gonna go through most of this. I asked Grok to pull up the stuff between like Leon Kennedy, Stellar Blade, and then just some of the hypocrisy and stuff like that. So let's talk about it. So I asked Grok, can you provide details on the hypocrisy of PC Gamer talking about Leon Kennedy and Stellar Blade, and please provide other tweets about it? So this is one of the things he brought up. PC Gamer's coverage of Stellar Blade. In their June 2025 Stellar Blade review, they called out the game for heavily sexualizing Eve, ass chaws, jiggle physics, and barely their outfits out of the wazoo, while noting it's a bizarre juxtaposition giving her sexless personality. After the PC port launch with more mod freedom, they ran a June 13th, 2025 article titled Gooner Game of the Year, Stellar Blade mods are 41% smut, ensuring gamers will never see the light of heaven. This is by, I don't know if this is made by the same one who did the Leon Kennedy one, but they counted 96 of 234 Nexus mods as adult, 41%, and mocked it sarcastically. How do you feel about Eve? Would you discuss that with your grandparents over Christmas dinner? I mean, why would you discuss a video game with your grandparents over Christmas dinner? The tone frames modders and gamers as obsessive perverts chasing excessive, not safe for work content. Now, this is PC Gamer just a couple of weeks ago with Leon Kennedy in a January 28th, 2026 article titled Leon Kennedy's hot uncle design in the new Resident Evil is thanks to the women on the dev team by Harvey Randall. They gushed over his updated DILF/hot uncle look, silver beard, neck wrinkles, etc. They called him downright foxy. GD and a Resident Evil heartthrob, quoting the director on how female Capcom staff obsessively refined his sex appeal. They even noted approvingly that modders put him in a thong with 0.01 picoseconds of Resident Evil 4 remake. Shortly after Resident Evil Requiem's launch, March 2026, they posted a playful article, Stop the Clock, Resident Evil's Requiem's first sexy Leon mod hit Nexus Mods just 4 days, 11 hours, and 23 minutes after launch. It celebrates the mod Leon Shirtless RPD as a historical milestone. A new page is added to the great chronicles of history and whose name will forever tone is fun and positive, no shaming. So yeah, so you can see that the double standard is obvious to critics, mocking female fan service / mods as degenerate gooners, while hyping male thirst traps and mods as cool or empowering, even crediting women on the dev team. So yeah, so I mean, like, that's a clear example right there of the hypocrisy. You're gonna shame and call gamers perverts who have mods, who add mods to like characters like Stellar Blade or something, or Eve from Stellar Blade, or just even add like more physical jiggles to the characters, to the female characters. But you're over here with this article, or you're talking about how, oh, we had these women work on the dev team, redefine Leon and make him more sexy and stuff like that. It's very much hypocrisy. Keep in mind, they want to call you, at least the male gamers. Now, there's even female gamers who have pushed back on this as well, agreeing with the male gamers about the hypocrisy. But these are the same type of people. While they want to call you a pervert, they're reading smut books like Glory Morning Milking Farm. And it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, if you want to goon, then goon. I don't care, but be consistent about it. So here's some other tweets calling it out. So on March 6, 2026, Grums, game journalists are complete hypocrites. They promote Resident Evil Leon sexy mods, but not Stellar Blade. That's because they're retarded. You should never take arguments from them seriously. You got Dragon Slay on March 5th that said, PC Gamer, Gooner Game of the Year Stellar Blade has spicy mods, and that's bad. Also PC Gamer. But when it's Leon Kennedy getting spicy mods, okay. Anti-BS Gaming, March 5th, quoting a viral comparison post, PC Gamer will shame Stellar Blade mods, but not Leon mods. Coping gamers will be asleep about the hypocrisy, however. And yeah, you just see a lot of people just calling out the hypocrisy of it. So then I went ahead and I asked Grok. I said, Grok, can you also please provide another list regarding how people have gooned to Leon Kennedy but are outspoken compared to the sexualization of the female characters? So this is Kotaku's thirsty article. Now, this is what I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, where there was Kotaku, one of the writers, put out an article maybe just before the game released, because that person probably had early access to the game. But Kotaku published a piece opening simping Leon Scott Kennedy. I'm on pre-EP or something referring to it. The writer admits to keeping Leon on low health just to hear his pain grunting / moaning sounds, calls the design irresistible, and frames his thirst as harmless fun. This is the same outlet and broader gaming media circle that has reportedly slammed over sexualized female characters, including heavy criticism of Stellar Blade / Eve as objectifying gooner content. YouTubers and Reddit threads destroyed them for it, noting the exact hypocrisy. Capcom's female staff and director openly bragging about gooning Leon Kennedy. The Resident Evil working director publicly stated, and it was celebrated everywhere, that the women on the dev team, which we just kind of read about a few seconds ago, so the women were pretty strict reviewing his design. Female fans and media ran with its empowering. Contrast this with any females getting curves or outfits, instant misogyny or unrealistic backlash. Multiple posts and videos highlight how this is treated as cute, positive, while the reverse gets ethics lectures. That's also true. Viral. Here's some people who are, who called it out. February 26th. Mock the hypocrisy directly. Eve from Stellar Blade is over sexualized parenting to the wrong people, Kotaku. I'm on preventative HIV medication, and Leon, please F me. See, that's weird. Bro lap double standard 6 times with screenshots. This captures the exact goon to Leon, but shame to Eve pattern. Again, you can't be like, you know what, Eve, you're over sexualizing her. That's wrong. You're a degenerate. You're a pervert. But then you're over here wanting Leon Kennedy to bend you over a table and just go to town on you. Like, what are we doing? The Capcom director literally bragged how the female stuff. Okay, so that's just reiterating what we read previously. Threads posted by creators like Tiny Teresa, viral, multiple posts. Every woman is swooning over Leon Kennedy right now, and I keep seeing some men say, so y'all can thirst trap over Leon, but complain about men thirsting over female characters. She acknowledged the point, but defends it as differently. Personality plus wrinkles versus just body. Other women in replies openly admitted the thirst while calling male enjoyment of Eve the issue. Gaming media and influence celebration. So yeah, because you clearly see it. Like, it's not necessarily talking about like the ones up here. I'm just like overall speaking. Yeah, you see the problem with it. It doesn't make sense on how it's okay. It's still just body. Like, we just read how the female developers for Resident Evil 9 spent time on it. The gray hair, the wrinkles. They worked on his body to make it a perfect hot model. But if it's done to Eve, whether it's outfits, mods, whatever, it's wrong. You just can't have the hypocrisy. Like I said, if people want to goon to Leon Kennedy, okay, fine, you can do that. But don't get mad if people are going to goon to like Eve from Stellar Blade or any other highly attractive female character in a video game. It's just utterly stupid. Don't be a hypocrite. You can't be like, oh, you can't do this. Meanwhile, you're over here doing the exact same thing. It's dumb. It's dumb. But yeah, it's and then lastly, I think that's all I wrote. Yeah, that's all I had Grok brought up, because I asked Grok, can you provide video accounts? I couldn't find them, but there was like some compilations and stuff like that of female streamers, thirsting over Leon and stuff like that. Yeah, I just don't think that is very fair. I think that is, wrong and everything, and just it's ridiculous. But we are going to check out a video real quick. It's like a 12-minute video. This is by, I have not watched this. This came out 2 days ago, but this is by the background NPC. She is a YouTuber, and I'm very curious to see what she has to say. So let us take a listen to her video.
For the past 2 weeks, pretty much every screen that I own has been taken over by one person. The man, the myth, the Giga Chad himself, Leon S. Kennedy. In case you missed it, somehow Resident Evil Requiem recently came out, and it is pretty great. Capcom absolutely cooked. They sold 5 million copies in 5 days, and they've confirmed that DLC is on the way. I'm about to finish my 5th playthrough. Yes, my 5th using.
At a certain point, I will get to Resident Evil Requiem. It's just we're just so jam packed with other games getting ready to come out here on the gaming channel. It's just I don't know when I'll get to it, but we are eventually going to get through all the Resident Evil games.
Almost exclusively the RPG as Leon because I just unlocked unlimited ammo for it. And even though I have a ton of thoughts about the game itself, this video isn't really about RE9. It is about the massive double standard of some of the people celebrating Leon the hardest right now. The thirst articles, the journalists who need to be hosed down like overheated Zoom.
If Leon Kennedy isn't hot enough, Resident Evil Requiem mods are here for your particular kink. If Leon's default appearance isn't sexy enough for you, never fear. Nexus mods will soothe what ails you. Now, here's the thing about Nexus mods as well. Remember when Elder Scrolls Oblivion basically got remastered and it came out, I think last year. There was during this whole thing with genders. Okay, they will have like type A and type B. I believe somebody went and they made a mod that did male characters, female characters, and that mod got banned off of Nexus. That's not the only one. There's been mods like that have been banned off of Nexus. So again, it just shows you to the hypocrisy of you want to ban certain mods that you deem you should not be able to use, but you're fine with having mods that make Leon Kennedy even sexier or something like that. Again, it's just a huge hypocrisy. It's ridiculous.
Animals, the same people who have spent the last decade lecturing everybody else about this exact thing, just in reverse. Once again, rules for thee, but not for he. Now, before we get into the details, I do need you to understand the scale of what has actually been happening. We are talking countless fan edits with millions of views, Leon fan cams,
See, like what are we doing here? You see, you're altering the body, so you're changing the design from what it originally was to make it to what you want it to be. I'm not saying background NPC. I'm just saying in general, but yeah.
Art, so much art. Cosplays, gym motivation posts, men saying Leon has inspired them to get in shape, which is really cool actually. Yeah. Shirtless Leon mods, Leon dad and mustache mods, all well and all good. But
me laughing at Leon's unfunny ass jokes so I can get in that 50-year-old man's pants. Oh my God.
Then the professionals started to jump in, and I might have started getting a little better. Kotaku published a piece called Leon Scott Kennedy, I'm on prep. I'm still not sure how that one was not only approved, but actually published, where the writer describes deliberately keeping Leon on low health just to hear his pained grunts, and how his own pants are, at one point, gone. This is a professional journalist.
Exactly. Like, how do you just let something like that go out? Like, don't you have an editor or somebody who like reads over your stuff before it's like published out and everything? The fact that was published is disgusting enough as is.
Mind you. And then even Nintendo, the company that treats a single exposed polygon like it's a federal crime, posted on X that Leon is absolutely jacked with a blush face emoji. Capcom posted a thirst edit of him set to Usher's Hey Daddy, Daddy's Home on the official account.
See, some of these I did not even know about, so this is actually brand new to me.
The check mark and everything. I've pretty much seen it all at this point. I think brands posting, journalists posting, everyone posting the highest levels of sexy thirst for Leon. Even his own voice actor had some things to say, but I will touch on that in just a bit. Now, to be clear, this is nothing against Leon at all, or against the celebration of attractive characters. You guys know I am all for attractive characters, and I love Leon. I think he is a legitimately great character, and it is so refreshing to see such a strong male lead finally get celebrated again. And with the way
It's true, because you don't, and whether it's video games, movies, TV series, you don't see great male leads in those genres that often anymore. A good example of this was, like about almost a month ago, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms came out, and we finally got a show with a male at the center who is just a good person trying to do the right thing. Um, if you don't get that often, it's always some kind of morally, or it's just something like that, where there are flaws with the male character, but there may not be flaws with the female character. Just stuff like that. So I agree, it is nice, even though I don't really care for Leon Kennedy. It is nice to have something like that within a video game.
Capcom was moving up to this game's launch, all of this was to be expected. I also expected cosplayers would have a heyday when I came across this Easter egg of Rebecca Chambers stashed away in the library by Albert Wesker, which somebody responded on a parody Wesker account with a formal statement that genuinely made me laugh out loud. But I can honestly say I was not expecting Victor Gideon thirst content.
Oh.
Yes, I had to put my phone down after that and went and stood in my yard for a few minutes. But while I was outside getting some air, I got to thinking, imagine if a female character got this treatment at this scale. Imagine Kotaku published Jill Valentine, I'll wear a condom. Imagine PlayStation posted a thirst edit of Lara Croft set to Justin Timberlake's sexy back, or Nintendo highlighting Bayonetta's curves with a wink face emoji. You know, I actually can't imagine it because you and I both know exactly what would happen. Mm-hmm. We know because we have watched it happen for at least a decade. There was this wave of critics and activists who looked at the gaming audience, an industry that was largely built by and for men, and basically said, the characters you like are a problem.
It only took 3 hours for someone to upload the first Oblivion remastered Gunner mod. Thanks, I guess.
The women you find attractive? That's immature, progressive, and a moral failing. And this, unfortunately, was not just one person yelling into the void.
That's also a big... So, Lara Croft in particular, that is also an interesting situation in that regard, because Amazon is currently developing the live action Lara Croft series with Sophia Turner as Lara Croft. A couple of weeks ago, maybe in January is when I think I talked about it on the Nerd Talk channel. It's January or February. We got first set photos of Laura or Sophia Turner in her basic Lara Croft outfit, the tank top, the shorts, the two guns on her waist, and everything like that. Even then, it looked good, but again, it just was like, that's not really working for people. Obviously, you're trying to compare Sophia Turner to Angelina Jolie, but the sex appeal wasn't really there, is what a lot of people were basically hinting at. And even I think later, Sophia Turner comes out, and maybe it was her or somebody working with the series came out and was talking about how she's not Lara Croft is no longer like a sex symbol or something like that. So again, you're changing things just because Lara Croft, let's be honest, it is male heavily consumed, and so you want to go in and change something that is for that general audience. Not saying women can't enjoy Lara Croft either. That's not the point. The point is that you're changing something that you don't like. Oh, a bunch of men find Lara Croft sexy. Yeah, let's change that just so we can stop that. Meanwhile, let's hype up and make Leon Kennedy very sexy.
This was all over gaming media. Full coverage, speaking invitations, developer consultations, and it got so loud that not only did studios start
Laura
listening,
Bailey talks sexualized female characters and making progress.
they started hiring these people, and it has become the norm.
Yeah.
Which, for example, is how we see something like the devs of 1348X Photo so casually.
What is it? Oh yeah, even these guys are going through the ringer right now. Why do you devs keep making intentionally unattractive female characters? Why do you expect a woman to necessarily be attractive? I mean, okay.
Respond to this tweet about their characters saying, "Why would you expect women to necessarily be attractive?" Happy launch day, guys.
Yeah, that's what I meant. They were going through the ringer. Nobody. The fact that this game came out and only your all-time peak was. Let me see. I wonder if it's changed. Let me see. Let me look real quick. What game was this? Let me see real quick. You back up a little bit so I can. Okay, that's what it was called. So it shows you how much I really paid attention to it, because I don't even remember what the name of this stupid game is. So as of right now, so the game came out about 3 days ago. So as of right now, at the all-time peak 3 days ago was 427. As of right now, of me doing this video, 91 people are playing the game. Now, there's also more information that has come out about this game, about like financial aspects of it, because I believe the people who the best person to go and look at it, to go read about it, would be Smash JT over on Twitter. But he talked about how the finances was being put through by people trying to basically push lesbian content and stuff like that.
Happy launch day, guys, by the way. So for the better part of a decade, we have watched it happen. A very loud, coordinated, industry-level push to change female characters in games. They were too revealing, they pushed unrealistic beauty standards, were harmful to the culture. Developer guides started telling studios what female characters should and shouldn't look like. Official company statements were issued.
Another good example is Insomniac's Marvel Spider-Man series, because if you look at Mary Jane in the first one and then look at Mary Jane in the second one, drastically different characters. Like the person wanted to see themselves as Mary Jane, I think, in the second game, so the model changed to be more based off of her or something like that. I was remember hearing about it a while back.
Victory poses got pulled because someone wrote a forum post, "Looking at you, 2016 Tracer." Characters that had looked a certain way for decades got softened in their remakes, and the press either applauded or scolded you for noticing. Outfits got covered up, proportions got adjusted. If a new female character showed up looking a little bit too good, she was not celebrated, she was villainized, and a controversy or problem to be solved. These people treated every female character like she was going through airport security.
Yeah.
Ma'am, that's a little bit too much cleavage. I'm gonna need you to step aside. Meanwhile, we have seen celebrations of characters like Geralt, Arthur Morgan.
Young Geralt mod gives me complete complicated Witcher feelings. What was the Geralt? What was the Red Dead one? Red Dead Redemption 2 is on PC now, so naturally it takes time to make nude mods.
Arthur Morgan, Astarion, and most recently, Leon.
Oh yeah, Astarion. Good lord, people were thirst trapping over him when Baldur's Gate 3 first came out. Let's see, how Jesus Christ, man.
Thirst traps, shirtless mods, people calling for nudity mods, which is not needed for Astarion, but nobody wrote a developer guide about that. Nobody called it harmful or was concerned about what it said about the industry. It's almost like the rules only ever applied to one set of characters. Super weird. What's even
It is
funnier is
weird.
after years of this, a study actually came out like 2 years ago that said female gamers preferred playing as the hotter female characters anyway, not the toned down ones. And now those same outlets, those same voices, sometimes the same human beings who spent years telling developers and gamers what women should and shouldn't look like in games, and in some cases are still writing those pieces, are now sharing pants removal journalism about Leon S. Kennedy. They are telling developers that attractive female characters are harmful to the culture with one hand and gooning to Leon S. Kennedy with the other. I've seen people make jokes about naked Leon mods, and it is all ha 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 jokes and celebration, and yes, please give us more. But somebody makes a body mod for Grace that changes her proportions, and suddenly it's disgusting. It's incredibly disrespectful because how dare you, chuds? My goon is culture. Your goon is jail time. And if you needed more proof of this double standard in real time, look no further than the upcoming Lara Croft series. In a recent interview, Sophie Turner made it very clear.
There it is. Just as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, she did get into it. So Sophia Turner says Lara Croft is no sex bombshell in new Tomb Raider show. So yeah.
That her Lara Croft, the same beloved character who does unnecessary acrobatics and fights dinosaurs with pistols, is actually super serious this time, guys. And it's not about her looks at all. Because as we all know, of course, serious women can't be hot. Smart girls can't be attractive. Not around here. Like, this is the Lara Croft we are talking about. Someone who is actually intentionally designed to be a bombshell. And the actress playing her felt she needed to share a preemptive disclaimer about her character's appearance before nary a single episode has aired. It's like the mainstream reflex to downplay female characters' beauty has just been ingrained so deep at this point that it is basically automatic now, even for one of gaming's most iconic female characters. Meanwhile, Leon's voice actor is out here in interviews calling Leon a sex icon and laughing about it, completely at ease, reading the thirst tweets. Not one journalist has followed up with a concern. Again, just think about if this were reversed. What would be the response if Jennifer English talked about how Shadowheart was suddenly a sex icon and cheered on all the male gooning? I love you, Jennifer, by the way. But Sophie Turner makes sure to give a disclaimer that nobody asked for or even wanted, while Nick Apostolides calls his character a sex icon and gets celebrated for embracing it. Just like Leon, Lara Croft has built a 30-year legacy on being smart, dangerous, and intentionally beautiful all at the same time. She does not owe anyone a disclaimer for that, and neither do so many of our other beautiful female characters. Neither did Ada Wong, neither did Jill Valentine, neither did Bayonetta, who, by the way, was designed by a woman and beloved by many women who were, at one point, told they were too damaged to know what was actually good for them. But the disclaimers and criticisms only ever travel in one direction, and we all know why. Now, this actually brings me to the other half of RE9, Grace. Now, I want to be super clear, okay? I genuinely love Grace. I think Angela's performance is incredible, the writing is beautiful, and she is probably one of my favorite additions to the RE universe. But even with all of that, as someone who tries to carefully pick my battles, I've still got to call out Capcom's elephant in the room with this one. Grace is a pretty feminine character. She is so layered and engaging. And
again, I've not played Resident Evil 9, so I can't really speak on that particular aspect. Like I've seen some clips and stuff like that of it, but I haven't really had a chance to let me see. I haven't really had a chance to dive into all that, so I can't really speak on that part.
I honestly enjoyed every second of her being on my screen. And if she existed in a vacuum, I probably would leave this one alone. But she doesn't exist in a vacuum. She exists in the same game as Leon that got every possible detail obsessed over. And she exists in a franchise with Jill, Claire, Ada, and even Mommy Domitrescu. And when you put her next to all of that, it is just painfully obvious how Capcom failed her. Not because she is a bad character, not because of her story or how she complements Leon perfectly, but because as the player, I can see so easily exactly how much more she could have been. Her default character design is, it's just plain bad. It is safe, it's bland, and I made the joke several times when playing as her in third person that
I'm curious on why that is then. Like, why did you make Grace look so bland, but then now you have Leon as like the peak of male performance. I'm curious on why that decision was made. Was it just to highlight Leon more? I don't know. It is pretty weird.
It's almost like I was staring at a blank piece of paper. She has no shape, no color. It's basically just a gray box. Her design makes me think that someone was already worrying about how the real horror of Requiem is actually the male gaze articles, or that it was done by a committee that was scared of how the other committee would approve it. You know, you might have goofed when the cosplay community is kind of all independently making the same adjustments to the standard costume. Crop tops, tank tops,
Yeah,
skinny
those look a lot
jeans,
better.
adding layers, colors, and on and on and on. Cosplayers will.
So that probably tells me then they purposely did that. They purposely made, now from looking at Grace and everything, she does look like a very attractive character, but they didn't want to go those extra steps to make her a sex symbol or a sex bomb or something like that. I mean, like, she just, as was just said, you got Ada Wong, Jill Valentine, Claire, and just like, come on, what are we doing here?
Actually always be the final judge. In my current playthrough, I actually added a crop top mod to Grace, and I have to say, it has made it even more fun to play. Now, I've got more to say about Grace, but I think I'm gonna save that for a future video, talking about all of our wonderful female characters. I think we're on part like 4 now, or 5. Who knows? But Leon's design shows you what Capcom looks like when they are not afraid. Grace's shows you what happens when they are, or at least when they choose not to try whatsoever. And I think that's why their response to Leon has been this big. Not just thirst, although obviously, yes, we've talked about that, but also relief. It is like guys and girls all across the internet have let out a huge sigh of relief, seeing that they just might start getting back their heroes. An entire
Probably not,
generation
but
of people grew up on these games, and Leon works so well as our male lead because he is him. He is the guy who walks into the worst situation imaginable and handles it. He's smart, capable, brave, a little bit corny in exactly the right way. Men want to be him, women want to be with him. He is the power fantasy and the rescue fantasy
I don't want to be him.
All at the same time, and there is nothing
Actually, I don't remember why I don't like Leon so much.
wrong with either of those things. There never was, and that is what a great character does when you just let them be great. No committee, no disclaimers, no apologies, just here he is, and look how everyone has responded. Look how hungry everyone was for it. Leon doesn't need to be any less. He is basically just a perfect character. Now we need the rest of our characters to be elevated to his level. If you made it to the end of this one, thank you so much. I know I was gone for a couple of weeks. Honestly, most of my spare time has been going to revisiting the Resident Evil remakes. But are you playing Requiem? Did you beat it? What are your thoughts? Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.
All right. So, yeah, definitely go and subscribe to this content creator. But yeah, I thought, very informative video and everything. And a lot of it I do agree on. It's just, it is crazy just seeing how one side wants to put down and call others like perverts and stuff like that. Meanwhile, they're glazing up Leon Kennedy and not only just Leon Kennedy, but some of those other things we saw was Red Dead, The Witcher. So it is quite interesting. But guys, that is relatively it. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. If you are new on the channel, we will be having a lot more fun gameplay coming up. I stream pretty much on Saturdays at the moment. It's usually Saturdays are like the easiest time for me to do that. But you can also find me on the Nerd Talk channel down in the description below. You can also find me on Kick, Twitch, Rumble. I do have the Nerd Talk podcast on Spotify. All that you can find down in the description below. So definitely go and check that out. Leave in the comment section. I will love to hear you guys' thought on the whole dynamic of this. And then, like I said, if you're new, hit that like and subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next one. Y'all have a good one.